to another week, another show with your boy, hey. With your boy, hey. With your boy, hey. Anyway, man, so nice little show on tap, man. We're going to talk about some Madden. We're going to talk about some ESPN. And then I might, throw in a little, grown folk OC talk. But other than that, man, I hope everybody's been having a awesome week. Staying blessed and healthy. Most times, it's one of those things where when you, doing the news, sometimes you want to tell the real news over the fake, but we ain't gonna get political on the show. But I will tell you this, man, this COVID shit ain't no joke. No matter what race or creed or background you come from, only thing I can tell y'all is this, man. If y'all really ready to bury your children, keep acting how you acting, man. If they're telling you to wear a mask, man, wear a damn mask. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, forget what you're hearing in the news, the fake news, whatever you want to call it, but shit. As a grown community, I hope, we do the right things and we teaching our kids the right things because they watching us. So all the stuff you see in the news, from the Karens, the Kens, to the racial injustice, to the pandemic that we dealing with, they watching us, man. The kids are watching. It's looking and seeing how we act and how we gonna show our asses, and could be the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? You just never know. But that's enough of all that. We'll be right back after this. Yeah. Hey, stay on the train. Hey. Hey, what's good, everybody? Man, it's your boy Brady. See you. Give me the OMFL News After Dark. Shout out to I Make Fire Beats.com, man. For some of the nice little sounds that you give me. But yeah, man. And shout out to Nate, man, for getting all these beats that I can utilize during my pre-show for the Press Pass Live. But let's talk about the grown folk OC, man. As you know, there's some pretty decent content over there. Looks like one of us has been churning out some videos and some write-ups. And then of course you got Nate posting his OMFL Media Days 4 and 5 are still at the top of the banner. The TFL got them some previews by Bond and Brandon Welford. The TFL. Oh, those are old ones. My bad. Never mind. They real. They real. My fault. But yeah, man. So the TFL's got them some content pumping out as well. Then of course you have, I think there might be some stuff churning out by the Deuce League. Might be some older content, but nonetheless, man, get over to the Grown Folk OC website. Check us out. See what we got to offer, man. From sports gaming to shooters. We got a little bit of everything for everybody. We just trying to, give you a positive outlet to come to. Even though sometimes we do show our asses. We would be grown folks if we didn't show our asses. Motherfuckers. But anyway, man. I'll be right back after this, man. We'll wrap this fucking show up and get over to the Press Pass Live with Nate. And then we'll end it on some closing thoughts, man, and then we'll say bye-bye. Peace until then. Be right back, y'all. What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man, back again. Apologize for my last spot, man. Woo! Where EA bring out the worst things, man. I've been ripping, I've been loving, I've been, hype, full of pride on some EA for a long time. And you can only drink so much of that shit before you just had enough. You feel me? But moving on, man. Let's go ahead and get over here to this ESPN real quick, and let's talk about preseason Saturday, man. Okay? It looks like currently in the fourth quarter with 3:10 left to go, you got the Chargers 13-6 over the Rams. Looks like it's 3rd-1 at the Chargers 44. That's on NFL Network. But let's run down some of these final scores. It looks like the Browns beat the Jaguars. Poor boys. But I will say, Trevor Lawrence, man, my man, looked really, really nice in his debut. But I mean, only time will tell, man. Browns edged out the Jags in that one. Then, of course, on to the Dolphins and the Bears. The Bears was actually able to get the dub there, 20-13. The Broncos edged out the Vikings in a blowout, 33-6. The Saints, Nate Saints, got smacked. No, I'm just playing. They lost to the Nips, 17-14. The Jets actually beat the Giants, 12-7. Bengals secured a dub over the Buccaneers, 19-14. The Texans was able to get the win, 26-7. And then the Chiefs actually beat the Niners, 19-16. And to end out the round out the Saturday action, the Raiders beat the Seahawks. Tell me in the comments, man, how your teams look, man. You know what I mean? I was somewhat, intrigued, but of course it's preseason. We'll see, on week 3 of the preseason, once they kind of have that final roster done. But week 1 is just around the corner, just a few weeks away. But yeah, in the comments, let me know how you felt your team looked tonight in preseason action. And of course, it looks like there's a healthy slate of games scheduled for tomorrow, possibly one, maybe a couple more. But anywho, we'll be right back after this, man, and then we might be sending you over to Nate in the Press Pass Live. Peace. It's on. What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man, giving you on the film news after dark. Man, it's been quiet, man. It's been quiet, but Madden 22 EA Play is live. If you're not saving anything. So man, Madden brought out their next gen, current gen, iteration of Madden this season, and allowed EA Play members to jump on and test the game out for 10 hours. But little did we know, any of your save data, especially any profiles that you save on there, it gets corrupted and it doesn't let you back in the game. Thank you, EA, yet again, for showing your ass. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, I get it. I don't have room to talk. I'm not the one making the game. I'm not grinding it out. This shit, hire me. Hire me as a tester. Get my ass in the lab so we can get this shit right. Because I'll be the first one to tell you, you wouldn't even have hand your grandma this crap. Okay? Like you just wouldn't. Hey, grandma, play this game. Like, no. you wouldn't put this kind of level of crap out. Like, I mean, come on, man. Whether it's a month or a whole year, $30 a pop, 1.2 million people subscribe to your service for shit to work. And if the shit ain't working, like, what the fuck is the point? Like, why keep bringing out more shit that just ain't gonna work? Like, come on, man. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. But anywho, you know, in my time of playing it, you know, the games I was able to play, I mean, you know, it's got a nice little feel to it. Not a fan of the play calling bar. Wish I had, you know, options. You know what I'm saying? You know, I wish it wasn't zoomed in. I wish it was zoomed out to where we at least have 6 to 9 plays to kind of pick from. But it is what it is. You know, the motion and the player models, everything looks nice. But you know, it's just the stupid shit. It's the bugs, man. I've experienced at least, you know, 5 to 10 crashes, easy. Some of them in franchise, some of them saving playbooks. Some of my crashes have been just starting the fucking game. Like, I mean, come on, man. I can't make this up. I can't make this up enough to, you know, to kind of, you know, just trying to be as nice as I possibly can, and it's just not working, man. It's just not working. But enough of me ranting. You know, if you have EA Play and you're able to get in, definitely go over into the PlayStation Store. Go into your subscriptions, EA Play, click Learn More. Once you get into Learn More about EA Play, then scroll down, you will see the Madden free trial there. Download it. Give it a check. Give it a check out, man. You know, check it out. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. I'm out. Peace. Damn, gang. What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man. Give me the OMFL news after dark, and I gotta tell you, man, I'm over my fucking time, y'all. So I'm about to send this over to grown folk Nate from the Press Pass Live, but to piggyback off of my intro earlier in the show, be safe, be kind, spread love and joy, not hating division. And I'll see y'all next week, man. Peace. Yes.
This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Nate. Here's another OMFL production.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Press Pass Live, number 216. Can you believe it? 216. Man, I can't believe we have got that many done. Madden 22 is here. It dropped this week. I even got 2 streams out with some gameplay. Well, technically one was just me playing the CPU because no one was around to play me, but it's okay. We still got some stuff out there, and I hope that you all enjoyed it. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Tonight, we have imports for the OMFL. So we're going to reveal all of the ASC imports. Ross has been working on this for like 4 months. I think Maniac helped him out. Speaking of Maniac, let me just stop for a second and say hello to my buddy Maniac. Maniac decided to join me. I'm pretty sure he's flustered. I don't know. Maybe he's more mature than me, but I know he was rushing to get here. I know when I rush to get somewhere, I'm flustered. Maniac, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing well, and yeah, I like to be prepared, but you know what? Let's just wing it because I'm excited to see these imports and whatever else we've got in store.
Yeah, we are just going to talk imports and storylines, and so whatever comes to mind, comes to mind. I was not able to get the Hall of Fame completely done, and so you guys have to forgive me. Hall of Fame will be ready next week, but we have tons to get through. What's up, Brady? What's up, Cincy? My new buddy Cincy hung out with me the other night as I played. Brady, you were salty as all get out tonight on OMFL News. So let's get over there right now. There's going to be no screen, so we're going to flip-flop back and forth between my full screen here and the screen for just the videos, because I don't want you to see my ugly mug. I want you to check out the video that Ross has been working on, and then after we show each one of these, Maniac and I will talk about storylines, things that we think we might see, things that might happen. It should make for a really, really interesting night. Give me one quick second. We're going to, bam, pull that up there. That's what we want. We're going to get that right where we want it. Let's see if we can make it just a hair big. Oh, my goodness. What am I doing? That's not what I wanted to do. All right, give me 1 second. I should have set this up properly. I messed it up, but it's all good. Now it is set properly. Okay, here we go. Let's get over to No Cam and start breaking down the AFC. This is going to be awesome. Let's jump right into it. So to get us going tonight, we are going to have the AFC West. So I'm going to let this video play all the way through. You're going to see the entire AFC West imports, and then we're going to break them down about what we might see in the AFC West. So here we go. Thank you, Ross, for all the hard work. Thank you, Brady, for the OMFL News. And thanks, Maniac, for hanging out with me tonight. Here we go. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs and Penguins. Dane, wide receiver. Penguins taking over a wide receiver. Colin and the Los Angeles Chargers. Miles LASHLEY, a stud for Madden 21. He's coming over to Madden 22. Ross took all the audio off of this. I wish he wouldn't have. Bloop with the Broncos. We got Braxton Parker, a halfback out of UCF, coming over to Madden 22. And then finally, the Raiders and J Bows. Kai Davis, a cornerback out of Pittsburgh. And that is going to be all of your imports in Madden 22 from the AFC West. Wow. Okay, we already are seeing the skill positions come to the forefront. Where do you even want to start here? Like, I'm going to let you make the call of where we even start looking at.
Well, I mean, you look at the wide receivers. I mean, you got the two top dogs from the AFC West basically coming back with Colin and Penguins. They're bringing in the big guns. I mean, they're coming in with the fast wide receivers. This is kind of like, it fits the AFC West style from days of old. It's the just sling it, play that kind of like that West Coast offense type of style, and these guys they already put up so many points this last Madden. With what's changed a little bit this Madden, it may be a little bit harder for them to pass, but they're definitely have already put an emphasis on making their passing game a top priority.
Yeah, the one that really sticks out to me is the Broncos. I mean, look, you got Melvin Gordon there still. I know he's 28, but he still has tread on the tires. I don't know what his Madden 22 ratings are exactly. I know that he got a 91 speed in Madden 21 next gen, as we have some updated rosters that I'm looking at. I'm sorry, I love you guys, but I'm not wasting my free release time, not free release, my early release time looking at rosters. That ain't gonna happen. But I am looking at the Madden 21 rosters that we have up here, and that one's a bit of a head scratcher. We have said it a couple times. If Brady isn't taking over his halfback, no one should take over a halfback. I do think halfbacks are a dime a dozen. Receivers, I also feel, are pretty easy to find, but cornerbacks with the Raiders, I'm going to go look at the Raiders really quick. Now, these aren't exact rosters, but they're pretty close to what we're going to see in Madden 22. He's already got some really good mid to high 80s cornerbacks, and he's throwing in a very fast, young, I think, rookie cornerback there. He's going to have a nice little trio of cornerbacks, which I call the D-Money effect. I mean, D-Money did it last Madden, and now you see guys go, oh, what D-Money do? Oh, I'm going to go do whatever D-Money does. So it's either Colin and Penguins with triple receivers. I mean, Penguins is going to have guys, like 3 guys, I think, over 95. 2 guys, 99 and 98 in Hill and Hardman. Now, I know he's already trying to get rid of Hardman, but, like, he's loaded at a receiver. Colin's going to be loaded at receiver. Not a lot of speed guys, but a lot of very good dudes that can get open. And you can see the effects of what that's going to take. Raiders taking over a cornerback. I'm just surprised that the Broncos didn't go that route. Halfback just feels like dime a dozen that you can kind of pick any of those up, in the first draft. Any other storylines floating to the top? We got a mixture of a group here with Bloop coming over from, the AFC North, coming over here now, and it's going to add a new level of competition here. Yeah, that's right. He's the Pats. And now he's coming over to the Broncos, and it's just going to add in like another level of competition here.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Jay Bowles here with that pick for his import, bringing the cornerback. To me, that speaks experience. I mean, he's already experienced the Penguins and the Colin effect from this last Madden, so he's prepped. That's shown experience. He's prepping for this next Madden. Again, not to dog on Bloop here, but that to me, bringing over the running back again, they're a dime a dozen. I think you can find probably one in the 4th or 5th round, and they could probably play for you and be your starter in most cases. But that right there, I think, kind of shows like the inexperience coming in over into this division, because this division is all about firepower. And so Jay Bowles, I have to give him an A+ here for planning that ahead and making sure that he's got the corners to cover these wild wide receivers and these 2 other teams.
Now, we have to talk about it. To me, we have to talk about it. What is Bloop going to have to do to get this Broncos team to compete? He had a quarterback issue in New England that took him a long time to figure out. He's kind of stepping into very similar situations, which again makes it surprising of why he's taking a halfback with him. He's going to have some great receivers. He will have Drew Lock, who Madden-wise is very, very buildable, and actually in the NFL played really good the other night. So there's like some potential there, but what's Bloop going to have to do to compete with the firepower of the Chiefs and the Chargers? We're playing with the idea of maybe opening up the offenses a little bit more, so you can kind of expect those 2 teams to, if we allow it, to go a lot more 3 wide. I mean, it's going to cause Bloop probably nightmares for a defensive guy to compete. What do you think Bloop's going to have to do?
Well, I mean, I think you kind of nailed it right there. I mean, he's going to have to step up on defense and really shut some things down. I mean, because, the quarterback situation, Luck, I think, probably can be a buildable quarterback, like you said. But, if something goes wrong there, I mean, you're looking at basically setting your franchise franchise back pretty much the whole entire Madden cycle to maybe only where you're going to be able to compete like the last couple of seasons. I mean, this is kind of like a Russian roulette basically for the Broncos here. But for him, you know, these teams were already so powerful this last Madden with the restrictions that we have with a 3 wide, you know, and if we relax that, these guys with Penguins and Colin, the way they learn to pass the ball, we're going to see some major offensive stuff coming out of the AFC West.
I'm going to let you pick this last storyline because I can't spend 20 minutes on every single division, even though here I think there's a lot of storylines. I'll let you pick which direction. Raiders struggled in Madden 21, had some success in Madden 20, kind of off and on, more on than off, but Madden 21 was a struggle for him. He's still in the same division with a lot of big-time players. Adding in Bloop is going to make that even more difficult. Or Colin, right? Competed early, then kind of struggled, and then really got on fire late. Which one of those two teams has kind of the least hurdle to get over to compete with Penguins, who not only ruled the OMFL, but ruled that division?
I think Colin has the inside track. I mean, he's got the franchise quarterback, the young franchise quarterback that's going to be there for a long time, and already a really solid ratings wise in Madden 22. I just feel like Colin's going to be the one that's going to really push Penguins for this division. Now, I do think I do feel like that Jay Bowles is going to improve. I did see improvement from him at the end of the Madden 21 cycle, especially, I guess, well, maybe not the very end, but the season before, because I do know he had some life things going on with that last season. But I felt like he improved. I think he made the playoffs in that final, or he was playing for a playoff spot, but he was in the mix, and he did show some improvement. But the storyline has to go right here with Colin. I think he really pushes Penguins this Madden for superiority in that division.
Yep, I agree with you. Well, let's move on to our next one here. Maybe. My Stream Deck is not playing very nice. Here we go. All right, we're going to move over to the AFC North. We'll break these down as we unveil them, but here's the AFC North. Clyde and his Pittsburgh Steelers. Christopher Thurman, he's bringing an offensive lineman. Number 59. I like 59, an offensive lineman. Massimo and his Browns. Lionel Johnson, a fast playmaking linebacker, wearing 94. Nips with the dollar sign. The Ravens are taken. Ben Booth for free safety. That's going to help that defense out of K-State. And then finally, but not least, Denbrew and the Cincinnati Bengals. Taking away Joshua Lopez, number 1 defensive tackle. God, I hate these new NFL numbers. They drive me absolutely insane. This is going to be a really fun division. You've got Nips. You've got Denbrew moving over there. You got Clyde. Who am I leaving out? Oh, my goodness. We just looked at him. Denbrew, Nips, Clyde.
What team are we missing? You put me on the spot, and I can't think either.
Oh my God! This is what happens when you do these so late at night.
Just roll the footage again.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. Where were we? The Browns. Duh, Massimo. There you go. This is a fun division. Massimo was a little hit and miss in Madden 21. Didn't quite get over that hump. But he is taking a very good team with him in a Madden 22. I mean, hands down, a lot of NFL experts think the Browns could be in the Super Bowl. Bengals, young team. Denver's taking them over. He's got some firepower on offense. He's got some playmakers on defense, and he's a defensive-minded coach who's going to study the hell out of you. Nipples, he thinks he's going to be plugged back in. He thinks life is going to allow him to be fully engaged. That dude was in the OMFL Bowl, the first one in Madden 21, before life took over. And then you got Clyde, who is always a defensive-minded coach, who I do think is going to take some time to adjust to the new player movement. But when he gets there, especially if we go comp mode, we don't know yet. We got a lot of testing ahead of us. But if we go comp mode, it's going to really help teams like him who are good users be able to make some plays on the ball. And Cincy, you're right. Mac Jones wears 50 in practice, but he does wear his normal number of 10 during the game, which is just funny. It's like a head game that their coach plays. What are the storylines that come to the top here? Browns, Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, all bringing over different style playmakers. Defensive tackle for the Browns. For the Bengals. Browns bringing over a linebacker, Ravens bringing over a safety, and Steelers bringing over an offensive line. When it comes to offensive and defensive line, that's usually what I take. It's not sexy. It's not going to take any highlights. It's not going to rarely get you into the Hall of Fame. It's not going to make anybody scared of you. But, man, they can make a big, big difference in just solidifying both of those lines and just knowing, hey, I got a young player that can plug and play there. I'm good. The other teams went the other way. We got that playmaking linebacker and we got the playmaking safety. You see the skill positions starting to show up in some of these imports.
I mean, you look at the philosophy between the AFC West and now we're going over here the AFC North. The North has put their emphasis on defense and the guys in the trenches. So that right away you see the differences here between how the owners kind of approach the season and stuff with their teams and how they approach the division. Really, I think this is going to go a long ways, like you said, for solidifying the teams because, I mean, you get the trenches set, you get your defensive set, you're going to have more success, I think, in the long run. Plus, that kind of frees you up to go after those playmakers, especially to me, it always seems like the first draft is loaded with more playmakers in the Madden drafts than normally afterwards. That's just me. That's my opinion. But this again frees them up. They've got those guys to solidify their defenses, are in the trenches with the Steelers, with the linemen. That can make a big difference with your team going forward.
Steelers really need the offensive linemen. Madden is usually not very kind to offensive linemen, period. I know my Saints have one of the top 3 offensive lines in the NFL, and they still don't get the real nice treatment when it comes to Madden ratings. Is this going to help Clyde get over the hump, though? He tended to not find his footing. He was way more engaged this Madden, which was great to see, but he just had a hard time of really finding his footing. Still fighting for a PS5, but I do have hope he'll find one in the next month. We probably got 3 to 4 weeks here before we actually get started because of the first update. What's Clyde going to have to do? Is this going to be able to help him, or does he need some other things to be able to compete in this division?
Well, I think looking back at his media days, he spoke about really solidifying the running game and playing better defense. I know because he's a defensive guy, but he said he felt like he could play better defense, and which now he's got the running back. He's got that superstar rookie running back that once if he can get the running game going, he doesn't have to rely on the passing because he did import a quarterback over last Madden, and I think he really kind of pushed the envelope a little bit too much with the passing attack and got away from what he's really comfortable with, and that's kind of ball control, running the ball, and just playing absolutely some of the best defense we've seen in the OMFL that since I've been here, since Madden 17, 16, whenever I came in. But that's his to me, that's his recipe to be successful in this league. Is he has to get back to what he does best: playing defense and ball control. And I think that's his successfulness there.
Who wins the AFC North? To me, it is the division with the most question marks about every owner. Massimo, does his job in life allow him to be plugged in? Is he going to get it right on offense? Denbrew, he's going to study the hell out of you, but he's taking over a roster that needs to be built. Is he going to be able to build it enough? We know what Nips can do. He's already getting a pretty loaded team. He's going to have some salary situations to figure out, but he'll be able to do that. But is life going to allow him to be plugged in? And then Clyde, plugged in, at least last night he was, but just couldn't seem, like you said, to play better defense. He couldn't seem to quite find his footing on offense. He's got no quarterback, it seems, unless somehow he can do a miracle job with the old Washington football team quarterback whose name is skipping my brain right this second. Like, who wins this division? Because there's a lot of question marks.
Yeah, there is a lot of question mark. I think if you look just based upon Madden ratings, the Browns should have the upper hand with the team that he has to start out with. But that doesn't always portray to what really happens in these games. You may have a guy that just has somebody else's number, and it just, I've seen it happen that way too many times. But for me, I think it's really Massimo's division to lose, especially the first couple seasons, because I think his team is set up to be successful early on. But I do feel like the Steelers could push. But again, if you have Nips, if he's engaged, if he's able to be involved, I truly feel like the way the trial is playing with Madden, this may play to his style, because he's probably one of the top 3 guys in this league for his defensive side of the ball, for his usering and stuff. So if he can get it figured out, watch out, because he does have the scrambling quarterback that he can use, and he's pretty well set up on offense as well. But his defense, if his defense is set good, he could give Massimo a run for his money, especially the first couple seasons.
Yep, I'm going the Bengals. I know he doesn't have the team, but he's the most consistent owner. May not happen season 1, but I think longevity, that's what's going to happen. We're getting a lot of Browns in the chat. We're also getting one from Smash, and he thinks Clyde's going to be the guy. All right, let's go look at our next one here. And coming up now is the AFC South, so we'll announce these as we go through. Roger and his Texans. Boy, this one's going to be interesting, but I think we know. EASTON Madden, what a name for a linebacker. This guy was a stud in that last draft. Like, this guy's going to be a playmaker. Koch taking over the Titans. Austin Bryson, a cornerback out of K-State. K-State represented really well here. Our guy Brady. In the chat, we see you, Brady. Appreciate the OMFL news. Is this an offensive lineman? Oh, defensive tackle, Kendall Hanna from Texas A&M, coming over to Madden 22. And our guy Winovus with the Colts. James Jensen, a linebacker out of Florida State. He's coming over to Madden 22. I think I find that one the most interesting because he already has a ton of very, very good linebackers. That's going to be interesting. He's going to be loaded, and it may allow him to kind of move. I think running back and linebacker, he's going to have a ton of those guys. I know when he'll find a way to get them all on the field, or he may even be building himself in some trade bait, especially with the cap situation that he's going to have. Boy, a brand new division, Maniac. Winovus coming over to the Colts. Koch coming over to the Titans. poor Roger with the rebuild of the century in the Texans, and then Mr. Steady Eddie, Mr. Brady there with the Jaguars. Man, storyline after storyline after storyline. Which ones kind of float to the top for you?
Well, I guess a storyline for me would be, can Roger pick up the Texans out of the pits of hell, basically? Because that team is in a bad shape. But I mean, that's a good start with the import. I mean, you're looking at the linebacker Madden. He's a beast. He's got some stats that are just like eye popping, and I think he's really going to be a core guy for him going into Madden 22. And I mean, you look at all these teams out of here in the South. They all went defensive. Brady and his import, I think, was actually, if I'm not mistaken, was an import into Madden 21 from Madden 20.
Really, Brady? You got to let us know that. Is this a double import for you?
I want to say it is, but I could be wrong. But I think it is. And then then you got Winovas with the Colts. He's kind of the new guy on the block. But I don't know what his plan is on defense. If he may run a 3-4, because I know he's got that stud defensive tackle that's almost unblockable, and so maybe he's planning on running like a 3-4 type of defense with all those linebackers on the field, and that may be a strategy that he's thinking about doing. And then of course, you got little Koch. He's new to the division as well, taking Dawson's place, but he's bringing in a really good cornerback already for that really tough defense. And I mean, so the storyline here for the whole AFC West is, South is defense wins championships. So I mean, they're pushing towards that.
So Brady, he makes me laugh. Brady in classic Brady fashion says, yes, he's a double import. And then goes, no, he was drafted in the first draft, I think. Okay, make up your mind, Brady, okay? We're going to need you to make up your mind. I don't know. We'd have to go check the records to see. We don't see many of those double imports, but Brady has been known to do that before. So many storylines. The Jags, they've got their running back in ETN. I mean, not necessarily the prototypical Brady type of running back, but he's got other running backs there. I think Brady, for once, is set at running back. It won't stop him from drafting 6 more of them, but he's already got some day one. He's got the quarterback already figured out. My question is, what does he do on defense, right? Because there's a lot that could happen. There's rumors that they might trade the second year cornerback from that team, and there's just a lot of holes on the defensive side, and that's what Brady's known for. I've seen him make chicken salad out of chicken poop, but is he going to be able to do it again? What's Winovas going to do? He's a defensive guy. He's taking over a very good defensive team. Is he going to have enough offense with all those running backs? A tough quarterback situation, even though EASTON played exceptionally well against me in a preseason practice game that he and I had. He's got some receivers with some potential. Is he going to be able to find the offense? Koch, coming over from the Rams, had no success, but he's taken over a team that's hard-nosed, run downfield, play really great defense. Is he going to be able to get over the hump? And then you called the first one. Can Roger rebuild the Texans? He's already going to have the quarterback. Now, what's he do there? Does he move him? Does he keep him? What's he going to do? He's probably going to get a lot of assets. I think it's going to take him 2 or 3 seasons, but I think Roger could compete come season 3 or 4. So many good storylines here. Yeah. The linebackers is still a little bit of a head scratcher for me, but you're already solid at offensive line. I'm surprised he didn't take a receiver. Maybe he didn't have one that he thought was worthy of taking over. Jack's taking over a defensive tackle. Kind of makes sense. That defense definitely has some holes. And it's just this entire... The one that makes the most sense is Madden with the Texans. Flat out, stud. Just one of the best players that we've ever seen. May break records here. And so a lot that's in the air here in the AFC South, a lot of changes, and we're going to learn a lot about this division, these teams, and what we're going to see. Any kind of other thoughts about the AFC South here?
Well, I'm curious to see if it's going to be like the AFC South of old, where nobody wanted to win it, or is it going to be to where when Dwayne was in the division, there was just this one team that just dominated everybody, or are we going to see guys producing maybe 2 or 3 teams in the playoffs out of this division? That's kind of where, I mean, I know that's kind of like a broad spectrum of the situation, but it's to me, I think they've been one of those divisions like it just since Dwayne has left, it's just who wanted to win it kind of thing. Dawson did kind of solidify himself this last Madden, but are we going to see that come out of this division where we just have that dominant team, or is it just going to be a scramble and somebody get in that would barely have a winning record? But they're definitely on the right track, I think, with their imports, especially the Texans. I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking at this guy on Madden right now. It's like 85 speed, 89 acceleration. I mean, he just, I don't know. Just nothing bad you can say about this pick. And he's 21. I mean, this dude could literally possibly make it over into Madden 23. I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Who wins this division?
Just based upon who I've played and how I feel like they play, I think we're looking at Brady and Little Koch, I believe, are going to be the ones that are pushing for this division, especially early on. I do think one of us is going to be in the mix. And the Texans, obviously, it's going to take him a couple of seasons. If he's able to compete early on with the Texans team, then by far he's gonna make the top 10 or 15 coaches by the end of this Madden for sure. But I'm gonna call it. I feel like right now, if I had to go the first season, I think Brady's gonna kind of surprise us and come out on top in the first season, and then it's gonna be between him and I just went blank.
Win? Koch,
yes, and Titans.
I'd say flip a coin. I would say my pick isn't going to connect with what I'm about to say, but if you're going to be in a division with a bad defense, this is the division to be in, because I think all these teams are going to struggle to score. Wynn is a good offensive player, but it's because he makes you pay for turnovers. Koch has a lot to prove on offense, and his team really is going to be set up to kind of run the ball. Great receivers, but he's set up to run the ball. We know the Texans are going to struggle. So if you're the Jaguars, this is the division to be in if you're going to struggle on defense. I'm picking Wynn, though. I just think he's going to be really consistent day one out of the box. I do think Brady will give him a run for his money. I do think the other teams, Koch, has to show me some things, but I think Koch has some potential, and I think Raj will rebuild that roster. All right, let's move into our last one, the AFC East, and I did change the music because I felt like we needed some more upbeat music here for this one. Let's move over to the AFC East, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. Ross put in a lot of hard work, and let's see what he has for the AFC East. Outlaw and his Buffalo Bills. Darryl Walden, a wide receiver. He loves taking over his wide receivers out of Georgia. Coming to Madden 22. Mr. Sniper, who's got some momentum behind him with the Patriots. Eric Boss, a cornerback. What a great name out of Florida. Tim and his New York Jets. Zach Hayes, a linebacker out of Michigan State. And then finally, our guy Ross. Von Ali, an offensive lineman out of Wake Forest. And I know he kind of went back and forth on this one. You can change your imports. You have until September 1st, but these are the ones that we have up till today. And that's it for the AFC East. Outlaw still trying to get a PlayStation 5, but I have faith he will get one with the Bills. Bringing over wide receiver. The Dolphins bringing over an offensive lineman. And after, I don't know what their Madden ratings are. After watching their preseason game, my God, he needs offensive linemen. Tim and his Jets bringing over a stud linebacker. And then our guy, Lost Sniper, who was with me in the NFC playoffs in the Summer League. That guy was 15-1. He's got a lot of really great momentum behind him, and we know he can build a team. I'm already blanking. What is he bringing with him? Oh, no.
The cornerback.
Oh, the cornerback. That's right. Boss out of Florida. Bringing over a defensive playmaker. That Boss was Boss and that middle linebacker, man. Him and Trey with Detroit, man, they just drafted two key cornerstones that we're going to see those imports coming into Madden 22. What storylines do you see here? A division that has got some newcomers and got some guys that, like, this seemed to be the division nobody wanted to win the last couple of years.
Well, I think the cool storyline here is Boss is the hoss, because that cornerback, I played him I think 2 or 3 different times last Madden, and he is just a ball hawk, and that's a great pick for him to bring over. And on top of that, what you've already got there in New England with the other cornerback that he has, it's a X Factor. I'm going blank on his name, but you put those two guys, your defense already is like, wow, it's going to be tough to pass on that defense. And then you got the other guys
Gilmore.
there.
Gilmore, is that who we're talking about?
Gilmore.
Yeah,
There you go. Yeah, so you put those two guys back there in that the defensive backfield. We're talking about it's already tough to pass, and they're going to shut down some things, I think. And
he's got McCourtney back there too.
Yeah, the safety. He's that back seven with the linebacker from Alabama, that Hightower.
Yep.
That dude, yeah, he's a solid stud in the middle. So you're looking at that back seven being really tough, and I think he's going to have a little bit of issues with the front seven, but he'll draft, and so he'll make a lot of teams one-dimensional, and so I see a storyline there. Lost Sniper coming in, and he may be the boss there in that AFC East.
Dolphins, known for running game, known for great defense, but this offensive line is not good. Again, I don't have exact Madden 22 ratings in front of me, but I'm looking at the import roster that we used for the Summer League. Boy, it is not pretty in Miami. You've also been a guy who knows how to build a great team up front on both sides of the ball. How do you compete when your offensive line just isn't good? Because that's one of the few positions that you don't rebuild overnight. Now, you may not need all 90 overall guys. We clearly proved that in Madden 21. But you also can't just rebuild an entire 5-man offensive line overnight. What do you do to compete?
Yeah, I see him really. Because you look at his quarterback with Tua. He's a guy that's fleet-footed. I think you try to get some short passing going on. You run some screens. You get the quarterback out of the pocket a little bit with the rollout, and you look for those short and intermediate passing. And But I mean, the running game, Ross. We know Ross wants to run the ball. He wants to drive it down your throat, make you wish that you were never born to play Madden, because that's just his style. I mean, he runs the ball, and I think if we do go into this Madden, we kind of relax the three wide receiver. We may see him run a few more draw plays. And just to say that with Madden 22, I have run a couple of successful actual draw plays. The actual draw play in a three wide receiver set, not just a smash run or a straight line run, but an actual draw play. And so we might see that come into effect for this team, spread out a little bit more, and try to play to your strength of your quarterback there with him having the scrambling ability.
I want to talk about the Jets for a second. Tim wavered about where to go. He ended up staying with the Jets. He's going to have his franchise quarterback. I mean, I think Zach Wilson would be easy to build up. It's going to give him some extra playmaking ability. But that roster, man, it has some clear holes. What is Tim going to have to do to that Jets roster? He kind of made some massive moves with Massimo and the Browns to bring over a bunch of pieces last Madden. But what's he do to kind of get over the hump in this Madden?
Yeah, he's already been kind of working the trade block. I believe
Which is hilarious to me. We don't even have any clue what we're doing yet, and my guys are all in there trading.
Yeah, I've kind of thought. I got excited and got into the mood one day, and I was like, hey, this guy's on the block too, but I think he's gonna probably approach it the same way he did this last man. I think he's gonna come out with the first season and really look to rebuild. I think he's gonna make some moves, and I think he's really gonna kind of put his eggs in the basket for that second season, moving on to really be a competitor for the division. And I see him doing it. I think he's gonna make a lot of big moves that he can make within his team's roster ability. Because sometimes it's kind of hard to make some moves with a lower rated team, because there's not a lot of guys that wants to trade away their good guys that they have on other teams for maybe a lesser guy from another team like the Jets. But I think he's got draft capital that he can move, and I think that's how we see Tim reshape the Jets. And like you said, he's got that franchise quarterback already now, so that's one thing he doesn't have to worry about. But I do know that he has mentioned that some quarterbacks don't seem to fit his style. So if he comes across with this situation with his rookie quarterback that he has, then it may throw a little bit of a monkey wrench into his rebuild, and so he's going to have to figure that out pretty quick, I think, if he wants to be successful.
Two last questions, and then we'll put a bow on the show for our storylines and imports for Madden 22. What does Outlaw have to do to finally start competing in this division?
He's had moments of improvement. I think he's also had some issues with connection issues with his internet, just like I've had problems, and it psychs you out when you have to deal with not only really great competitors, but if you have a situation with like a net issue, and it's really hard to be competitive when you have those, and you have the thought of that always impeding what you want to do. But I think with his style of team, I think he needs to get to where he's more ball control and less trying to air it out like he does. I know he loves the wide receivers, but I think he plays exceptionally well for defense, and his defense is built well there in Buffalo. So I think he needs to get back to just ball control, kind of control the clock, and I think he can be successful, but it's just he's just got to get away from that kind of like that mentality of like, oh, I have to throw the ball, you know, in the situation to be good because everybody else does it. I think he just needs to find his groove, find his niche, and stick with it and perfect that. And I think he'll be all right.
Josh, Tua, Zach, Mac. A division full of young quarterbacks. Which one of those are you taking?
Oh, out of those three, I mean, don't forget Allen too. I mean, from the Buffalo Bills.
That's not, Josh Allen. Josh Allen,
Okay.
Tua Tagovailoa, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones.
You know, I think I'm going with. I think I have to go with Allen. I mean, he has a stronger arm out of most of all the other quarterbacks there. But if I had to pick a second one from those, and it might shock you, I think I might take the kid from the Patriots. I think he has some solid tangibles for his ratings, and I think he is an actual nice player within Madden 22 to build up. So I know that's probably like, I know Ross is probably looking at me with side eyes and everything else, like, you know, why are you not taking Tua? But I think Matt Jones is a very serviceable and a good quarterback that you can build up and probably get at a decent price if I was going that route.
Yeah, I think I'm staying away from Allen just because the $275 million contract or whatever. No thanks. Don't want to figure that cap situation out. I'm taking Zach Wilson. I've always been a sucker for guys that can get out of the pocket, make plays. I think it just adds a completely different element to playing defense when that guy can scorch you for 20 yards when you're playing zone on him. So I really like Zach Wilson. Last one for this one. Who wins this division? Bills, Outlaw, Ross with his Dolphins, Tim with his Jets, and then Lost with his Patriots.
Well, I see this, especially this first season, coming down to two teams, and it's going to be between Lost and Ross. And so I believe Ross, of course, you know, he's going to be kind of like the old long beard guy, you know, in the division that, you know, has been there for a while. He kind of understands the division, what goes on there, and Lost being the new guy, newcomer. But I think he's kind of riding that success coming into this Madden, like you talked about from the summer league, and I think he's going to compete. And I'm going to throw a shocker out there. I think Lost wins the division the first season. And yeah, I know, right?
No, I'm right there with you. I'm picking Lost as well. I think he is the team with the most complete team the first season. Lots of weapons, and he's got Cam Newton that he can lean on until he gets Mac Jones built. And then I do see both Tim and Ross getting things figured out with their rosters and being able to compete. And I'm with you with Outlaw as well. I think everything you say, I totally agree with it. If Outlaw would just focus, even though Outlaw, I see what you did. I knew you were going to get out of OMFL Media Days. You did, and you never came back. I see you, you sucker. But Outlaw, if he would just focus and just stick to a game plan and stop trying to do what everybody else does, because that's what they do. Outlaw is one of those guys that will make you play ugly and come out with wins, you know, 13-12, 16-14, 21-18, 17, right? Like, just Outlaw can kind of make you play like that. There's your AFC, guys. That is all of your imports for the AFC. We'll have the NFC for you next week, including the Hall of Fame. So hopefully my guy Maniac can come back and rejoin me. Maybe even one of us will poke his head in here and give some thoughts, because I know he's been playing a lot of guys. Let's put a bow on the show, Mr. Maniac. Give me some closing thoughts for AFC imports and storylines for Madden 22.
Well, let me just say, first off, Ross, exceptional work on this. I mean, this is amazing, what you did with those videos and stuff, and I'm so impressed. But you do know that once you do that, you're gonna have to start doing some more stuff, because you know we know you can do it. And
you know that better than anybody.
So it's awesome, and I really enjoyed it. And I think storylines, kind of going backwards to AFC East with the import for the Patriots, Boss as a Haas. I think he takes that defense to the next level, and obviously I feel like he takes them to the for the division. Then you got the South again. I'm feeling like Brady is going to compete there for the first season with the Jaguars. I know he's got a lot of young players, but he's actually finally got his quarterback, to start off with, and so I'm excited to see that. And also, and staying within that division, I'm excited to see what Rod can do with the Texans. And then I think the big storyline, though, it comes out of the AFC West, and I think it's just going to come down to who can score the most points between the Chargers and those Chiefs. I think that's just going to be an exciting division to watch for as offensive side goes.
Yeah, I go to, does anybody dethrone the mighty king of the Chiefs and Penguins? He was so dominant last Madden, etched himself in OMFL history with all those championships. Who plays defense in the AFC? That's going to be the big question. You got a lot of teams with potential, but you got like a top tier of offensive guys, not really a top tier of defensive guys right off the top of our head. Maybe Massimo, he's got potential to be, but like what of those teams can be that elite defense to stop the Chargers, to stop the Chiefs and Penguins? Like who can stop those really powerful offenses? And then can any of these dudes with potential actually step into it? I mean, I don't know who we didn't talk about that has potential, from Lost to Ross to Outlaw to Massimo, like to Clyde, like so many teams with potential. Winovas, right? Like he is. Don't listen to what he tries to sell all of you. He's a very good player, very consistent, knows his football, very high IQ. He knows how to make you play ugly and come out with a victory. What of those teams doesn't live on potential but steps in to being an elite top team? Because that's what it's going to take to come out of the AFC. And Maniac, you and I have been in the NFC for so long now. It's been an NFC-driven league outside of Penguins winning the bowl games, but like Penguins seems to have like an easy walk to the OMFL Bowl every single year, where the real competition of D-Money and you and D-Wayne and Mo, like those Pepper, right, those heavy hitters in the NFC just kind of beat up on you. And it's like those are Super Bowl games all the way leading up to the ball game. So does the AFC step into that? Do they become elite? Do they balance out the power in the OMFL? Time will tell. Maniac, thank you for being with me tonight. It has been awesome. Guys, thanks for being in the chat. It was a little quieter tonight than I experienced. I thought it was going to be popping off a little bit more, but we only had like 5, 6, 7 guys all night off and on. But I do appreciate you guys for being in here tonight. It's here, Maniac. Madden 22, man. It is Madden season. I already took off for Madden Holiday, which I think is this Friday, right? Yeah. Saturday I'm going to the Astros game, but I took off Friday, and just like lots of really good stuff. Let me just share a quick thought. If you are looking for leadership tips, if you're looking for spiritual stuff, I run 2 websites and a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is called Home Church 217. The websites are homechurch217.com, which is our home, our church community, our home-based church community, and then my personal website for leadership stuff, natelejeune.com. I just want to share my content. Like, I would love to have you guys come and hang out with me, and I'm just sharing tips, tricks when it comes to leadership, things that I've learned, things I've been taught. And then when it comes to spiritual side, like I just love opening God's word and just like walking it out with people. I just want to walk this out in your spiritual journey, wherever you fall on that spiritual journey. And this week we just posted a great conversation with a apologetics doctrine friend of mine. He's a pastor. His name's Clark Wiedner, and just a guy that's really close to my heart. And he and I just had a conversation about where the church is right now and kind of where it's going, and this idea of balance and separation. And I just had this phrase that just really has stuck it out to me. And I think it talks about it in all of Paul's letters to the different churches throughout the area that either he built and created, or even some communities that he was just connected to. And I think it's this idea of being separate, right? Like we see churches who are separate, right? We live different, we act different, we have different values than the quote unquote world. But there is a difference between being disengaged and being separate, right? And I think we have to be engaged with culture. We have to know what songs are out there. We have to know, what people are watching, what are they listening to, what do they like, what do they don't like, what are the hot button topics, and the thing I hate the most, politics, or what is really tugging at people's hearts and lives, and like how do we be engaged in society? How are we engaged in culture? How are we engaged with people's lives? Because that is the only way that we're going to build real relationship. I think that the days that we kind of seen the church being created of like preaching hell, on the corners and screaming at people, like it's just not what is going to tug at people's hearts. We are called to build relationship, to love the world around us, to love our neighborhood, to love our city, to love the people that we work with, that we're connected with, in such a way we just come alongside them and we walk it out with them. And so we have to be engaged in culture, which is why grown folks exist, right? Like I could easily go and just do church stuff and not play video, but like this is part of my culture. This is part of my calling. And so if you're looking for like a group of people to connect with, this community is full of amazing, amazing humans that you can connect with. One of those is my buddy Maniac, who I'm so glad is still here, and so many other really, really great guys. So if you're in the Discord channel, check it out, in our spiritual channel. I am never beyond asking for a subscribe to my Home Church 217 channel as we build it out. I think you'll like the content. I think it's good content. It's real content. My purpose, you'll hear me say it a zillion times, is to make godly principles really simple. And how do we apply them to our life and in life, in leadership, and in love, so that we can live out the principles of God? Because man, he loves me and he loves you, and he just wants to be in relationship with us, and he's pursuing after us more than ever. And this week we're gonna have some really fun stuff coming out, both from NateLejeune.com leadership and from HomeChurch217.com. So come check us out, come hang out with us. For Maniac, for the leadership here in the OMFL, thank you for hanging out at Press Pass Live 216. We are done, but we'll be back with you next Sunday, Press Pass Live 217, for all of the NFC, and hopefully by then the Hall of Fame. But who knows? I may hold on to the Hall of Fame for one more week because I don't want to get it lost in the shuffle. So we'll be back soon enough. Have a great week. I'm praying for you. I love you. Come hang out for some streams this week. Come chat it up with me like my new buddy Cincy. We talked about the Bengals for like an hour while I streamed Madden the other day. So come hang out. Until then, God bless.